Today's episode, we have Sighmaan.
When he first came to Ho Chi Minh, he checked out pretty much every gym there is in the city, grappling, striking, you name it. He went there, saw what it was all about, and now still training at many places, training often, competing often, and recently he competed in
National Fighting Sports Championships, competing in both no-gi grappling and gi jiu-jitsu. And he speaks to the value of speaking both English and Vietnamese.
Listen in, and you'll hear it from him.
Welcome to the Saigon Saga, where we cover combat sports in Vietnam and have fun while doing it. If you need to take command over the mic and grab it.
Man, you should have seen when Hip came in here.
If you need to hip you in that mic.
Yeah, I saw. That's where I got the idea from.
You can ice cream cone it if you have to.
Ice cream cone.
Dude, he actually walked out with the mic.
With the mic on.
That's why we knew mics.
Took himself a souvenir.
We didn't have the courage we didn't have the courage to ask him to bring it back.
So you're not scared of him. Come on.
He's still carrying that mic around.
I'll go pick it up at Arcane. Arcane's gonna start a podcast. The Arcane Archives.
Yeah, if it's Pato and Hip up there, like in the little loft.
That is like being unused space in their place, because right now it's just a loft. It's just upstairs.
What I'm thinking. The heat is already high. You just leave the sauna going. It's kind of like hot ones.
Yes,
you go there, eat the hot wings, but instead you're just up there in the sauna, and as the episode goes on, Pato can handle it, but the guests are just
because obviously he'll shut the door. In fact, he'll probably get everyone to go up there and roll first to get the steam going, and send us down so he can start the podcast with Hip. Arcane Archives, good on them.
And then just bring unknowing guests, bring them in there. They don't know what they're getting into, and they'll leave a sweaty mess.
Oh, they'll be drenched. They'll be swimming. They get that swimming pool level with Arcane.
So how often are you training at Arcane?
Arcane, I visit. Let's see. On and off. So usually, recently I was there a lot because of the ear. I was getting my ear drained over at Arcane. I train at Jozu though, so there's that. Let's get that out of the way.
Who was draining your ear at Arcane?
Pato.
Really?
Yeah, it just so happened, dude. So the ear started happening maybe a week before I went to the Philippines. I then went to the Philippines for a week, and while I was there, the ear was just big. I come back to Vietnam. I don't have time to get it drained or anything like that. I go off to my mum's hometown, just visit the family. Everyone's asking about it. All these they don't know they think I've got, I've probably got cancer or something. I don't know. And I'm just trying to say, no, it's my sport. It's my sport. It's so much explaining.
Wow.
And then on that day coming back, it was a Sunday, and I just so happened to get dropped off at Arcane. And then Pato was like, come. Pato goes, go get eyes, go get needles, and I'll drain that shit for you. And since then, as of recently, I'd visit them more than I'd train there. Like I'd come for like an open mat on Sunday or whatever, here or there. But during the week, after training at Jozu, because it's all in D7, it's ritualistic. I'd have a shower at Jozu's after class, catch a ride to a pho place. It's a bit of a walk from Arcane. Finish my pho, I'm stuffed, and just start that walk. With a cup of ice on my ear. Stop at the pharmacy, grab some needles, walk over to the Pato. They're finishing up. They're 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. They're wrapping up, and then just get my shit drained.
Wow. So how long have you been here in Vietnam?
So it's around about 1 year, like uninterrupted. But before I did this 1 year, I was it was like right after COVID, we could travel. I flew back here and I did 6 months just to see that I could do it. Then I went back to Australia for 6 months, and then I've just finished my I came back, and it's been a year since I came back. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! And you grew up with your Vietnamese family in Australia.
Yep. So I was born here, but I grew up in Sydney, Australia.
Okay. And did you have a big family in Australia?
No, actually quite small. Just mum and dad. Dude, big only child energy. Like just mum, dad, and son. That's probably why I'm fortunate enough to be able to pick up the language. Because I'd go to school, speak English at school, and speak Vietnamese at home. A lot of people with siblings, they end up losing, because then they'll like the ability to speak the mother tongue, because they'll go home and speak English with their parents and their siblings. And there you go. So yeah, most of my family live here. My relatives and stuff, cousins, uncles, aunties.
Or speak English so their parents don't know what they're talking about.
Yes, that's exactly that, right? I remember growing up, I'd be told by the uncles and aunties when we'd be hanging out like friends, talking, and they'd be like, no, speak Vietnamese. Speak this how I speak. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah. How about you? You speak Vietnamese or English?
Oh, man.
You were ordering in Vietnamese today. That was really good.
I can order food in Vietnamese, like directions, the numbers 1 through 10.
You know who's really doing well at like trying to work on it? Robert. I love watching him like
Yeah.
walk up and he pauses. He kind of like,
Collects himself.
I think he like Google lenses like his understanding of the Vietnamese language in his face. And he goes, I want to order this.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's trying.
Yeah.
He's really integrating.
I feel
well
like
here.
that's through experience of having done a lot of traveling and being like not the main language there. So I'm sure he would have done that when he was in Thailand. And yeah, so.
And he loves the motorbikes. We just got to get you on the motorbike.
Me?
Yeah.
No. So great that you bring that up. It's a very good talking point. Can I drive? I can drive. I know how to drive. I just don't. It's a little bit not right to say culturally, but for example, the experience being a child growing up, I'd come back to Vietnam for holidays. I'd have relatives just drive me around. I'm a kid, obviously. And then when I was old enough to come back on my own and the opportunity to drive was there, it's just that you're so used to that side of your life that when you come here and it's so readily available that you don't have to drive, you can just get a ride. I just quickly really got used to that. When I did start traveling, from like when I did my north to south trip, the trips, like the big transitions happened by plane, bus and whatever. But when I got to the city I was at and I wanted to explore, yes, I rented a bike and I went around. But no, I'm too reckless for a bike, man. Like I can see like people who live here, they have like this the habits you have when you've grown up riding a bike. You just know how things go, right?
Yeah.
So if you're pushing a bike, you don't grab the brakes at the same time. This guy's gonna do that, right?
Yeah.
Because he's not smart. Like it's almost, dude. I'll hang out with like a girl and she'll drive, right? And we'll get there and we'll park, and the security guy's like, "Why isn't your friend helping you put the bike away?" Because he doesn't know how to. I don't have like bike moving intuition.
Do the girls ever ask you to drive?
They've asked me if I can drive, and I tell them, oh no, the short answer is no, I can't, but I can, but I just don't want to. It's just this, I'll explain this. So I have driven with someone on the back before, but mentally it's like, I know I'm reckless. I'm probably going to get into an accident or whatever. And I'm fine if I fall off the bike and no problem. I'll brush myself off, but I cannot handle the thought of having a girl on the back of the bike and you stack it. Girls on the floor, you turn back, you're looking like, I don't care what's happened to me, but just this, I don't want to see that. I don't want to be responsible for that. You know what I mean? And so I'd much rather,
sure.
It's almost like me knowing myself that well that I'd much rather have the girl drive for all our safety than have me drive and like risk that.
For everyone's safety.
Citizen safety over here.
Yeah, dude, I've been to Hajang. Have you?
Yeah, to the loop in the north.
I did that on my own. I fell off that bike 4 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude, I think like as I'm done now, like I'd never do that again. But my survival rate for that was probably 60%. The fact that I made it back.
You did it one time or 4 times?
Once. I fell off the bike 4 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you said training brought you here.
Oh, funny. What actually brought me back to Vietnam originally was one day I was watching these music videos that they made in Vietnam, and I went, sunsets and mountains, and like, I really want to come back. And like, look, I can't sing, I don't play instruments, I'm not even the best filmer, but I could kind of collaborate that, and make music videos. That's what I wanted to do. And then I come back here, and then I just get caught up in the training, and it's all I've been doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So it was originally, that I really like the music scene here. I enjoy listening. I enjoy it. But like, so I started training around about COVID time. So before I started like coming back here, I had already like been introduced to all the grappling stuff in Sydney. And when I came back here, I was like, let me go visit like every other gym, in like striking, grappling, whatever they had available. I'd visit it all, from like traditional Vietnamese martial arts. I started in one of them, Vo Việt Nam. That's what I did when I was younger. To places that said they offered jits but didn't. And then I got to go to some and that's how I got to expose myself to the more valuable gyms that we have here in Ho Chi Minh City.
Wow. So how does the scene compare to Sydney? Like jiu-jitsu?
I think the game in Sydney, Australia seems much deeper because jiu-jitsu has been around for longer. In Vietnam, it hasn't been around for as long. I think it's only just over 10 years. Pretty sure that's how long the history has been around for. But then you'd meet the people who have put in that time, who've been there for, again, I've only been training for about 3 years. I'm a child in this game. But when I meet people who've even though they've come out of Vietnam, but they've been putting that 5-8 year time and 10 year time, our coach has been training for about over 10 years. That's when I see the difference. I just think it's because it's like how if you watch Lion Championship, they don't really have a lot of people don't have the best ground game. It's felt like that for such a long time in Vietnam, they were much more focused on striking. Like that's why everyone's like kickboxer right now. And slowly now with the introduction of more grappling, everyone's starting to pick it up, show up to open mats, learn from each other. It's great.
Yeah, it's really cool how we have Lion Championship to kind of showcase the evolution of martial arts here in Vietnam.
I mean, definitely help the businesses, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it'll be interesting. Like you're grappling with this kid, and like he's a definite white belt. He's got no grappling at all, and you put on the gloves with him, and poof,
Yeah, everything
knock your
changes
socks
so
off.
quickly.
Yeah, and it was like, oh yeah, I've been training like for 15 years. I'm a national wushu champion. Oh, of course. So yeah, it's a very humbling experience. Which I mean, isn't that what martial arts is
We've
all
got
about?
a lot of up and coming strikers here in Ho Chi Minh City. Notably, is Adam is an up and coming
Adam.
Up and
Muay
coming.
Thai.
I don't know about up and coming.
Up and
I mean,
coming
he's ready to
Muay-
come up. Look how tall the guy is.
Yeah.
Be
got
up and
height
up.
He's coming up for us. Weighed in this morning at 71 kilograms.
Yeah, all good.
Right.
Skinny boy.
He said, man, no more 90 kg guys. No more 90 kg.
I'm cut off. I'm done with
opponents.
heavyweight.
He-
There's no
he's
room for
like-
me up there.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, I'm
Well,
gonna
that's
cut
because
down.
you didn't try to. Were you 90 kgs when you fought the 90 kg guy?
No, it was 75.
That's your fault, bro. You missed weight. You should have. Why weren't you 90 kg?
You know, I didn't put the work in. I didn't prepare.
You didn't
I
eat
I
enough,
didn't do
bro.
what it
You
took to
cut
get my
any
weight
weight
up.
for
Pick
that
up Zach's
exhibition.
habit. Like food, all right?
Oh, I like it, especially
Oh,
today.
bro.
Today after
I
weigh-in,
was
oh,
watching
man.
you. I swear to God, from when I saw you at lunch to now, you've gotten fuller. I couldn't help laughing. You looked so drained at lunch.
Man, yeah, but now I feel nice. Like in the test cut on Friday.
Yeah.
After that, like I trained in the morning before, which was quite strenuous already, but it took me until like 5 o'clock or 6 p.m. to like just get off the couch. And today, 2-3 hours after the weigh-in, I feel quite refreshed and quite good.
How heavy do you think you'll be for the fight?
76?
Why, baby? I was gonna say 77.
Maybe 77. I will tell you. I'm curious to weigh myself tomorrow. I might be there already.
I can just imagine like how lethal you can be after like a drain. It's not too crazy, I guess. Like basically, I don't think you could drain yourself anymore. And then a week later, be at your comfortable weight.
Yes.
And go. Like,
A whole
that's
week is
fun.
nice.
But why did they do it a week
I
later?
think they want to promote the event, so take some pictures at the weigh-in,
Oh,
do the
okay.
face-offs and stuff.
Like
this.
boxing, you know.
Yeah,
You know how boxing has
but-
like 5 press conferences. Like,
yeah, but how early do you weigh in for boxing?
but there you go. They don't weigh in that early. That's for sure.
It's
Yeah,
the day
I
before,
think
right?
this is definitely a convenience thing because they're not boxing, so they can't have 5 press conferences.
This is only in Vietnam. Can you weigh in a week early?
Welcome to Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to give everyone a
Whenever's
fighting
comfortable.
chance, bro.
I absolutely
mean-
prefer it though, because for me, I don't have to cut any weight and then think about fighting tomorrow.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
need to be recovered
I mean,
tomorrow. I have a week to recover.
dude, even one day,
It's just, yeah.
dude, even one day is a lot, man. Some tournaments you literally weigh in and then step on the mat.
Yeah.
It's like that sometimes. For IBJJF, it's like that. And MMA 36 hours before. I mean, you can gain 5 kilos in that amount of time. You can.
I like the fact that as someone who doesn't cut weight, I much more appreciate just weigh in, let's go, bro. Like,
Yeah, it
none of
sounds-
this refueling,
yeah.
this is bullshit.
But how much do you think your opponent cut?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't think that much. To me, the weight cut is more of like, I want to do it. Like,
Yeah.
we're on a combat sports podcast.
Yeah.
And I didn't grow up wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
My weight cutting is like, I need to diet for 2 weeks so I can show up and then compete the same day. So it's good to just go and kind of see what the dehydration feels like, and you get a grasp of mostly on what I'm curious is how I feel 24 to 30 hours
Yeah.
later.
Mhm.
Because in the future, if I want to compete in another event that's way in the day before, then you get this test.
Yeah, you
So-
have this realistic. Yeah, like if you had to fight tomorrow, how would you feel? You'd be like, oh no, I'd be toast. Then
Then I'll
maybe
rethink my choices.
look more for a comps where they let you get a weigh in for a week.
So why did you start grappling to begin with?
So originally, during COVID, when I started picking, I grew up in martial arts, like doing the Vietnamese traditional martial arts. So I thought that I could fight. Then during COVID, it was a lot of like not like it was the on and off between lockdown in Sydney and then not lockdown. So we were locked down and then we weren't locked down. So before we had our first lockdown, I started training at a place and I'd just gone back from Vietnam on holidays and I was working. So I don't know, for some reason, I think I just got into this mental thing of like wanting to just train. Like I just wanted to go, like physical activity, whatever it was.
And there were plenty of gyms.
Pardon?
There were plenty of gyms.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, dude, crazy, funny story. Where I live I'm from Bankstown. Shout out to let's go. I lived equidistant to the 2 gyms that were in my suburb. So one gym's there, the other gym's there, and I'm right here. So it started with me training at one gym, and then I think second COVID happened. So everyone was locked down. The other gym was doing PT Muay Thai. Great. So I just signed up for that. So once lockdown finished, I was training at both places now. I prioritized the first place because, you know, that's where I started. And then anytime the first place didn't have class, I'd be over to the second place. So I was this is like starting like that habit of the morning and the night class kind of thing for me. Was happening during that.
So you basically started two-a-days from almost the beginning.
Let's see, how did I do this? Okay, so originally, I think it was going into, I had work, so I wouldn't be able to do the morning. So I'd just make sure to make it to all the night classes. It was just gradual. Like once you're able to just comfortably, it's a routine where you're not as tired getting to all the night classes, then you start trying to get to all the morning classes. And I just picked it up till it became comfortable. It ebbs and flows.
Wow.
Yeah. So then at one point I'm like I feel my body, right? I feel there's the wear and tear and then the rest and that's the whole cycle that I like doing. Like you do the train, you wear yourself training, you come home, you smash food into your body because everything's just all torn up and open, put food into that, hit that rest, and then boom, go at it again. And like just like muscle building, skill building. Oh, I love that cycle.
12 hours, do you think that's enough? Do you, like when you train and then recover,
so
do you feel like that's enough time for you?
We all need 8 hours sleep, right? So whatever I'm thinking is do everything you can before that sleep. You get your 8 hours, and I generally, I feel recovered. Yeah. Or and then even if you're not, that's my thing, because I'm also not. I don't go out of my way to train 7 days a week. If something comes up, and I let life give me a break. So let's say I've got a party on the weekend. Beautiful. I've been training 7 days a week. So this weekend, when there's a party, that's my time off. Competitions, like leading up to a comp, I'll train hard. And then it's obviously the week before the comp, now it's just all light training. Like I like that idea of just not wrecking your body, but wearing it out. And then that last week, I just it's like real low intensity training. Go in, just move. Yeah, let everything just kind of come back. And then you hit the competition, then you're worn, everything's stressed, and then you have that week. Generally after the comp, I like to come back to training in that kind of worn state. Just again, move. If I'm worn, I can't move hard, and that's fine too. Just, like being able to put yourself through like what you normally do at a more disadvantaged position. And then after that initial week, then I get like a good rest, get the massages in, get the, maybe at the end of last year, I think the beach comp that we had, then it was the end of the year, New Year's. So I had a great time off, couple 2 weeks, just enjoying myself, just putting food in my body.
You got another 5-6 weeks before your next competition.
What comp? I don't know what competition you're talking about.
Malaysia.
5-6 weeks.
Malaysia, man.
But isn't May 2nd not that far away?
June 2nd.
Well, what about the super fight I've been hearing
May
about?
4th.
That's right.
Hey, I set it up, buddy. You guys knock it out.
You're doing the super. It's May 4th.
Are you interested?
It's weird. Like I get that.
It's just open mat with
exactly. You guys are dealing with a little bit of intimidation factor from like the audience, people potentially signing up. I'm on the end of just having done a comp. I'm like real comped out. And I'm like, whew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate having time. Because that's the thing. My whole thing in competing is I like using the competitions to help boost my training. So what does that mean? So there's a comp. That means I'll spend that month before the comp, the moment I sign up, training for that comp. Then I'll do the comp, and then I'll expose problems, issues that I need to work on, and we'll spend the time working on that. And that's how I get I use the comps to blast through plateaus. But the thing I hate the most about the comp is how it takes up that mental space, leading up to it. That's a month, thinking about competition.
Dude, that just means you haven't competed enough.
Oh no, definitely not, definitely not. And that's someone that's me putting myself out there that much.
You just need to compete more.
Definitely.
Because eventually you'll be like, all right, I'm just gonna step on the mat.
Yeah,
But you also need to value that time of fixing those problems.
definitely. Yeah, exactly. So you troubleshooting. Sometimes you get into I feel like wouldn't change anything that I've done. I like such hard work having competed so much. I would not change anything I've done, but something about having that free like time to just all right, just instead of like, oh, next comp's coming up in however, and now we're just still trying to like work on the same thing we work on, right? Yeah. But that's why like I am kind of like, I feel like, I don't know, just having to think about it before is usually the issue. Like the super fight, I feel like on the day, like, wouldn't be surprised if I'm sitting there and then like, oh, okay.
Who would you feel comfortable with competing against at the super fight?
Anyone who's not as good as I am, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm here for a good time.
Why don't you do have another match with Duke?
With Duke? Is he in town?
And maybe he'll come. He isn't. He lives here.
I thought he lives north.
No, he works here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he lives in Saigon.
I don't want to, but I don't have a reason
Well,
to
why
say
not?
no. You see how weird? Like,
Hey, why not? You have nothing to lose. He's the one who has.
If I caught him at an open mat, we'd slap hands and just go. Like, it'd be fine.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, so
it's really just we're really just having fun.
Yeah, have fun.
It's really an opportunity to become familiar with ADCC rules.
Yeah, cool.
And we have an ADCC ref.
Well, I'm getting convinced on the air. This is terrible. This is
Come on.
This is bad. Listen. I'm not opposed to ever rolling with Duke. I'll put it that way. So yeah, I'd love to roll with Duke.
Well, if that's the case, we're gonna have to switch it till Sunday.
Maybe you go talk to Duke. See, I'm leaning on the fact that you don't have enough time to make these moves happen.
Bonus
Okay.
episode. We're going out. We'll just put it out unedited.
There's gonna be an alternate if he can't show up. If you're willing to go with Duke, man, you should be willing to go with anybody.
To be honest, I should be willing to go with anybody. It's not even a competition. It's just an open match. There's no stakes.
It's absolutely.
Honestly, how about this? I'm not going on your super fight, but I'm pretty sure on the day I'll be there, and you're gonna need someone to. I'm not gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna roll. I don't think anyone's ever seen me say no to a roll.
Yeah,
this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a sign up that says open mat.
Yeah.
What time's the event?
10.
When is this event?
10
Next
o'clock.
Sunday?
Open mat.
No,
I'll
Saturday.
show you the sign.
Saturday, 13 days from now.
13. I'll
Saturday,
confirm that I'm
May
available for that.
Just come and just do a roll with someone.
Yeah. I'm basically just rolling someone.
And then we're just gonna like have fun and make some videos. That's it.
Basically,
but you know the whole reason we're doing this is to
grow the shit and
grow community. That's it.
I appreciate you guys are putting in the time. It's not.
It's really like
it's work. You guys are putting in the work. Trust me, it's not easy trying to gather people together to like.
I know.
Do it, and you're trying to, and I can see that. So I'm like,
yeah. So it's basically an effort between Rob, the chief great taste officer, and the Saigon Saga is coming together to make some matches happen. And this is really an opportunity for people who've never competed before or want to get used to competing, don't want to pay, and go to a new gym, which is Dragon MMA. You know, and it's a cool gym. Oh, wait a second. Win had a good idea this morning. Is have the matches in the cage.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Like
could we
still
do
grappling,
that?
but
still grappling. Definitely that would change things up a little bit.
Would you compete? Yeah.
I think the cage matters to me. I'm not like a heel hooker rolling guy who like Rob was explaining to me how a cage.
The cool videos that are going to be of you.
Oh,
if it's in the cage.
Dude, check out my Instagram. I only post videos when I lose. I only post videos when I lose. When videos when I win, I just sit there, enjoy myself, rub one out. When I lose, I've got a video to post. It's great. And
why don't you post videos when you win?
I only post videos when I win, when it's like something fun, like me and a teammate and stuff like that. But you know, I've always like there's definitely something to appreciate being different. Like, you know, people like to post their highlights, their wins and stuff. I see those stacks, you know, like they put the boom, 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 sub. I'm not that guy. I probably don't even get as many submissions as I'd like to. So fuck it. Like, you know, if I win the whole comp and I don't, then I won't have any videos to post. I'll get some nice photos, and then if I lose, I celebrate the loss and something. I think when I initially lose that video, I can't watch that for a little bit. Right. Oh, also, if you check my Instagram, I only post in the past too. After I finish a comp, I post the content from the comp before. So it means that leading up to the next comp, I spend time watching the last comp that I had where I lost, and then it gets posted and so on and so forth. Yeah. I have a Is it eccentric? I have a way.
I think
of
it's
doing
cool.
things.
I think
It
that. I
sounds
think
efficient.
that's.
You've
I
got
think
I think I
that's.
kind of step out of.
You've got a
like,
dual purpose.
Yeah, because it's a bit of nostalgia, and my Instagram's huge nostalgia.
Adam
Yeah,
wants to take it a step further and get a karaoke machine and do
He wants to sing
karaoke on a
during-
karaoke machine at Dragon MMA.
I got a few songs.
That would be. Tell me that wouldn't be
dude,
funny.
that would be so
Dude,
Dragon. Can you imagine that? The super fight, Dragon MMA, karaoke, and some beers.
Dude.
Beers and a nice bar. I feel like this might be easier if you just market it as an open mat. Matches, like Kumite style. Like just,
Mm.
so who wants to do this? And then like kind of, I don't know, like do it your way, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking like, imagine a bunch of people show up for open mats and you guys, Zac runs to the middle and just, and of course you've got a few people already who
Yep.
already like agreed to be down to go. And then you can just kind of run that for the whole day. All right, who else wants to go? And then like have someone there to make sure no one's getting bullied, of course. Like, it's not too, the scales aren't too tipped, and just kind of go. I think making it that open mat setting
Yep.
would be much more inviting. And because people there for the open mat are already in training gear.
You
They're
know,
like,
and
you're
then we
gonna
can
roll
trick
with
'em
him
in.
anyways. But the only difference now is we're all just gonna watch you. And
you know,
and
it would be what would make it even more inviting if you could sing us a song and to make people feel welcome.
that would scare everyone
If you
away.
could
They would
sing.
all leave, bro. They'd all go to striking.
Singing. They walk in and they see
They are
Sighmaan
serenaded by you.
singing on the karaoke machine.
They're gonna leave. They're gonna leave. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like
As
you
soon
had
as
me
they're
at
in, we lock the gate.
commentating, maybe. All right, I'll talk.
Think
I'll
about
hop on,
this.
talk shit. You want me to sing?
Just think about this. They come, they do their first match in the cage while Sighmaan is singing on a karaoke machine.
Or
I mean,
can you
what
imagine
else-
how much of an experience that would be for this poor person who's never like competed before? It's like
They
my
wouldn't
first
even
time
be
com-
nervous because everyone would just evacuate the building when
Yeah,
they hear your
there's no
voice.
one left.
It's so ridiculous that you can't get nervous. That's how much we care.
This some,
About
like,
these competitors.
backyard like
We're gonna make it
no
so
no
ridiculous.
striking fights going on.
We're gonna make this so ridiculous that you won't even be nervous about your fight.
I'm more
Your
nervous
match.
about the singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone has to sing a song before
Well,
they hop on the mat.
Yeah, we'll prepare you to come and serenade us all and
Actually-
sing it, and then day of we might tell you you don't have to,
Yeah.
and then you'll just go on with extreme confidence.
Actually, whoever loses has to sing for the next match.
It's
How about that?
It's gonna be a bloodbath.
Think about that. They go in the cage. Whoever loses sings a karaoke of our choice. Sings a karaoke song of our
I'm not
choice.
even gonna start on like the whole language barrier, the whole like it's such a deep rabbit hole.
It doesn't even matter.
How about this? Are you fighting for the super fight?
Yeah, why aren't you doing it?
Who would I fight?
Anyone?
Is anyone
mean,
good?
Sounds like he's just dodging
Anyone good, eh?
everyone, Yeah.
Honestly,
Okay,
actually no,
okay,
dude. Oh,
okay, who would I
here we go. Let me switch this around.
Okay, let's do
There are
it.
a lot of good like it just be like I'm just thinking, like fucking Optimus Prime versus like who's another big robot? You know what I mean? Like this is like Godzilla versus Optimus Prime. That's
Okay,
not comparable.
throw out some names.
When's this guy come back from 404 or the guy
Oh,
from
that guy
404?
would
Will he come
be-
back from Atlas?
Yeah, he would be tough, man.
Oh, we want him to be tough, don't we?
I want
Okay.
someone easy. No, that guy he'd be tough. We shouldn't
Yeah.
do it.
And that's what I'm saying. That's my thing. I know where I stand on this ladder that we have here in Saigon. I know where you stand in this ladder where we have Saigon. And I know who else stands around that rung on that ladder too.
Yeah,
I know people who stand above the rung that you're on.
yeah. There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's
Respectfully
There's
so.
a lot of people.
You know what I mean? Like, hey,
I'm just trying to climb up to the first.
this is just
rung.
an example. I'm not even saying it's going to happen. I don't even want to suggest it. But do you remember your first super fight that you had here in Vietnam?
Yeah.
Imagine you had a rematch. Again, just floating the idea. I'm not, you know what? Oh, wow.
Okay.
But then also imagine like you want to do the rematch, you're down, and then party B isn't down. So I don't want you to have to go through the work and of like trying to, I know it's hard enough setting up the event, let alone having to fight for the event too.
I would consider it.
But you see my point when I say that
Yeah.
when you ask me names,
Yeah.
I'd
okay.
even want to have Hip up there with you for a super fight.
No, then that because
Because if you
There's
beat
gonna
you, it'd
be-
be like, he's so small.
Hip and I are going for the fourth time already.
Yeah, I know.
in
I know. You guys have gone
Malaysia,
heaps.
so-
Trust me, like,
So it's like
it is definitely cooler to have
I
you
would
guys just
rather-
meet up again for a comp.
I would
whenever it
rather
happens.
Heap be there and bring people.
Yeah.
Because he was more of like a coach He's
Yeah.
a competitor, but
Yep.
in Vietnam,
got the mind for
he
that.
is a key influence, a coach, a leader, a key influence
Yeah,
in
definitely.
Vietnam, and I feel like this event is to promote the community.
The community.
It's
yeah.
really about to promote the community.
And for that reason, that's
and
why I
success-
shouldn't even be in that fight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kidding. All right, so
Well, dude, you just started jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
3 years ago.
I'm a child in the game.
We're putting this
Next thing
event
you know,
on to help you flourish.
I'm too good for this super fight.
Yeah. Okay. So before so that's super fight. But what any other comments like on the community here in Saigon?
Community,
You're kind of like the bridge. You have a unique
Yes,
perspective because
I'm in a fortunate position.
Yeah.
I am the bridge. I being able to speak English and Vietnamese fluently means I have access to like a lot of resources, good resources.
Yep.
Small example, I've been to seminars where we've had some very high level people there, and I'm able to at least pick up the information straight away because it's in English. Whereas my friends who probably aren't as fluent as English, they're grateful and they're happy to be there and get the exposure. But I know for sure it'd be harder for them to pick up like the knowledge as well as someone who's going to understand just off the bat.
Yeah.
And I felt that like in rooms where like I'd be the UK like being used to demonstrate the drill or whatever,
Mhm.
and I'd go partner with my friend who's local, and because I understood what was being explained, I can communicate back to them in Vietnamese. I think that's been really useful as well.
What are some of the things that the expats, the foreigners, might be missing in this growth of jiu-jitsu that's happening right now?
What are we missing? You know what? I think it's because I don't think there's anything really missing because it used to have nothing. Now we've got something. So it's almost like anything more. Everything is has been like a gift, basically, right? To have that exposure, we're having because of the expat interest. That's why we're having these international eyes that are looking in on Vietnam and the scene that's growing here. So it gives more exposure to people who are coming up, athletes, and the local athletes, for example. They're now being able to meet people who are who they wouldn't normally be in Vietnam, but happen to be there. Joseph Chen came through for holidays with his family, and a bunch of us got to roll with him and stuff. That's freaking phenomenal.
How was that?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to roll with him. I had a thing growing on my arm at the time, so I was off the mats. But I did get to sit down for lunch with him and his mum and sister, and then I think Sal from B Team. It was great.
Sal.
Yeah, Sal hates jiu-jitsu.
He is so hilarious.
He hates jiu-jitsu, bro.
Yep.
That's why we get along. But like that, it's such high value for that. I mean, the comp I just got back from, the national comp I just did, it was in Cang Thơ. It's this small city that one of my favorite cities here in Vietnam. And then because we had the northern athletes, athletes from the north, they're not, unless they're on holidays, they're not going to be this far south. You know what I mean? But because the comps in the south, they were here for the comps. And then afterwards, during the night, we were able to show up to the local gym, and then they were training with some people who who've never had that kind of high level exposure before, being able to pick their brain and stuff. That's great. So that long-winded run that I just did, to go back to your thing about the expats, what I see is that expat exposure is helping it grow. It's definitely really suitable for me personally because I've been able to drink from both wells. But I think that also big shout out to a friend of mine, Bruce, for example. I understand that he started working somewhere just as a security guard and was able to get that international exposure, speaking English. They learn the language, but you've got to actually use it, right? And so now me and Bruce, he's a local Vietnamese kid, but I speak to him in just perfect English. We swap. I found the phenomenon where if I meet someone who speaks fluent Vietnamese and English, we understand each other quicker and deeper because we can anything we can't understand in English, we can switch to Vietnamese. So he's one of the guys who I've seen him really take advantage of that expat community. He's a brown belt and he's my age, and he does PTs with the expats that come in. They've got so much to teach them, so much to learn. So I think if anything, the expat community is going to grow. So similar veins of Thailand, but different. And it's just going to get better. More exposure.
Is there anything that you can think of that would help the community grow over the next 5 years? Anything that
I think what you guys have been doing has been great. Like this podcast, there was always been a space for this podcast. No one did it. You
Yeah.
came around and have done it, and that's wonderful. And this is going to grow because as the community grows, this will grow. There's these open mats that we have. I think when we think about the community growing, we think about the people who have like put in that time. So let's say CGTO and what Q's doing, right? It sets up this, like, I can see like it's really bringing eyes to the community itself. And I think that's what might help it grow. The fact that outside of Vietnam, people can see that Vietnam does have a growing jiu-jitsu community. It is worthwhile to come to Vietnam for a holiday and also roll. That would be, I suppose, growth. More notoriety. And it helps. We got some names coming through and giving it light. Yeah.
For sure.
Because, like, you know, if you're some jiu-jitsu guy back over in the West, Australia, you're going on holidays for whatever reason. If you happen to come to Vietnam and then you stumble upon, like, oh, wow, like, this is what's going on here, it'd be great. Like, you'd want to come back again.
Yeah,
so much high-level teaching and stuff.
Yeah, it is cool that we're becoming known as, hey, this is one of the better communities.
I feel very fortunate to have stumbled upon it. Like, again, when I first came for my first initial 6 months, I was trying to do MMA. I was learning MMA and like striking and jiu-jitsu and all of it. And then it's all kind of funneled into jiu-jitsu. And then I was able to kind of see as like as high-level people started to come just to visit. And I can see how like it reciprocates within the community. Everyone's getting like nice exposure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it's very unique that Vietnam has a national jiu-jitsu tournament. You know, like a jiu-jitsu national championship. And they have gi and no gi, and there's no belts.
Oh, it's not just gi no gi. It's also like fighting. What they call fighting. It looks more like point fighting karate style. They've got dual show, which is like performance, like choreographed fighting between two people. And then they've also got full contact, which is more of kudo style. It looks a lot like kudo style, fighting like headgear and a gi. It definitely helps to have that, you know, exposure, because then that's what's getting us to go train. And I was able to learn that, you know, the rule set affects the way we train, right? So whatever, like, it's like Muay Thai. Muay Thai is the sport, but it's also the rule set in like striking. It means that you use elbows and your knees, whereas kickboxing, you don't. So I think like these, like, for example, you've got, it depends what rule set, but yeah, we got IBJJF is the rule set that they used in this recent comp. So then people train a certain way. You guys have ADCC coming up and you're going to do these super fights. So now people have to like kind of adjust the way they train and stuff. It's really interesting.
Yeah. So what was the feeling at the national championships?
Let's see. At the championship, the vibe was quite nice. Like, I was very, I was in this state of like, wow, I'm getting exposed to a lot of like new, like visually what you're seeing, how the matches are going out. Like you can see that difference between like your high level athlete competitors, national athletes, and then your more, like, for me personally, I was able to see like where on the rung in the comps that I kind of float around. Like, yeah, so it was definitely humbling. It was humbling to like see where you stack on the ladder. Initially, the result for my comp was I won my first matches for both gi and no gi, and I lost my second. But leaving it was a very humbling feeling. As of recently, I haven't, like my other comps, I had some level of like success, you know, medal or whatever. And so to have it turn out this way, it was like nice. Like I can kind of really seep and like sit in this feeling of like I met some people who had definitely kind of outclassed me, and like. And honestly, the initial feeling was, oh, I've been outclassed. Like, maybe I'm just going to kick back, forget about competing, just keep training, have a good time. Like, that's generally what I want to do. But then with a bit of, like, talking and letting myself really feel that for a bit, I started to realize, oh, no, like, I haven't hit as big of a war ever. And this is the first time I've hit that. And it's almost like, well, I can spend time working on, like, getting through this next war. That's the reason why I compete. That's the plateau that I'm trying to blast through. So, yeah. It was a nice gradient of like, of feeling to feeling kind of good. Yeah. Did
you feel that everyone was pretty serious there? Like,
yes, definitely. That's one of the things that like I think I'm fortunate enough to like have been able to train enough that most open mats I'm having a great time. Like I'm doing quite well generally. Like whether I'm being I meet someone who's better than me or as good as I am or who isn't as, I'm having a great time. But when it came to the competition, it felt like people were very much like, well, for the athletes themselves, their perspective is there's medals. because they've all got contracts and stuff with different like teams. You know, they're getting paid a salary or whatnot. So there is a burden and a weight on them to like they want to try to get some kind of a medal. On my end though, I don't have that, so I was just happy to be there. I was happy to compete, get the experience in, and just get that exposure. So it was no like my feeling once I lost like the match and knew I wasn't going to go on was more like, oh great, like cool, I'm done. So I don't have to fight another fight. If I won, they'd be like, all right, cool, let's get our head together so we can fight the next fight. Losing, I kind of felt that's cool. I don't have to fight. I don't have any fights anymore. I can just kind of chill out. So it was. I don't know. Is it fair, unfair that I don't have as much pressure?
And how many? There were no belts.
Yep, no belts. So that's the thing with the national comps is, they just I think they do they just kind of sort the brackets out like whatever. It's just random, which I understand it should be random. And then people just kind of go off.
So there's no seeding.
But there's no seeding.
Okay.
You might have like, shout out to Harvey. You bought like I'm pretty sure like few national comps ago, his first guy he got was Jung Pham, the black belt German dude.
Yeah.
There you go. That was his first match. Cool, you know, get it out of the way. Like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go sit with my team now. So I was lucky. I didn't have anyone that was too like out of my thing, and that's the thing. It's good exposure, right? Like, even if you are a white belt and you are gonna get like shut down in the first minute by a black belt, that's exposure. That's value. That's valuable. Being able to do it in a comp setting, I think.
Yeah. And how many weight classes were there? Do you know?
I don't know, but I can know. 52, 59, 62, 69, 70. Oh, no, not 69, 77, 85. And then I think there's that upper range. Oh, no, there's, I think under 95 and then plus 95.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was
about 8 or 9 weight classes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty good.
And how long has jiu-jitsu been a part of this Vietnam National Combat Sports Championship?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was recent because a lot of these people, national athletes, their roots are more in judo or wrestling and stuff. And so they've just kind of made the transition to jiu-jitsu recently. I don't know how long jiu-jitsu national competition has been. I think it's been about maybe 10, 15 years, but again, don't quote me on that. But then that's that interesting like product that we get, right? We get like a jiu-jitsu rule set, you get to play the guard and all that, but and how does that manifest when you've got someone who's spent their whole life doing wrestling, national wrestling or national judo or whatever in the country? And it's just because Vietnam, for example, has a much more deeper judo history than it has a jiu-jitsu history. Yes. Whereas it's again, we compare it to the Philippines. They've also got a very deep judo history. They've also got a just as deep jiu-jitsu gi history. No gi, for example, in the Philippines, it's more newer. But it's interesting how that manifests because then you get these black belts who've like always been doing the gi, and now they're doing no gi, and they're definitely having success, but they will definitely have holes that come from not from being more gi orientated. Vietnam, on the other hand, like I feel like the gi and the no gi are kind of actually no. Right now, no gi is definitely the more.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems favored. More people are training it for sure.
I was talking to Pato, and Pato was talking about how, and I know you had that campaign to like stop all gi comps better for the environment.
Yeah, it's better for the environment. Yeah.
So I asked Pato how he feels about that, but Pato was talking about how it will be quite a shame. And mind you, I'm team no gi all the way. I'm happy to drop the gi. But Pato, and I agree, it would be a shame to see the gi game in Vietnam drop because people lean so much to no gi. And they don't, like, I know I'm definitely not putting the work that I put into no gi into my gi. But that's personal for me. My gi will slip while my no gi will get better. That's fine. But as a whole, like I hope that we have some people who are more like gi orientated. I think the people who are more gi orientated that we have, they're just as orientated in the no gi. But we don't have anyone who's like real I'm just all gi. Yeah.
What about Matt
Fujeki?
Matt Fujeki. He's pretty.
That's the thing. We have gyms that are really gi. Yeah, we definitely have people like Great example, Gistio. They're a gi gym.
Yeah.
Great, and they'll be and maybe they are the ones for that. I think just as someone who's always training and always exposed to training, I feel like because it's so much easier to come no gi, and like look at all our open mats. All our open mats are all mostly no gi, right? It's so much easier to show up not in a gi and just go.
No laundry.
Yeah, no laundry, man.
Yeah, the laundry. It's hard enough with the no gi.
Also, hot country, guys. hot country.
Yep. So, who are some of the more notable, because you have access to, the foreign world and the local world, because you speak both languages, and you're extroverted guy who likes people, and you have great conversations, just take the compliment. But like, who are some of the more notable Vietnamese coaches or leaders, people who may have started gyms that are really moving the ball forward in Vietnam that might not be as well known?
So obviously off the top of my head, I'd go for my coach. Yeah, he's the guy that I learn under, and so my main influence, Anthony.
Yep.
He's over at Jozu, District 7.
Yep.
Definitely worth noting his hip, of course. We're talking about how hip is definitely someone you'd consider, at a coach level, with that level of wrestling that he's got. Pato, definitely over, and I feel like I'm saying these same names that I'm always around at when I'm in D7. Someone who doesn't actually hear a lot about from is Louis over at Mode Jiu-Jitsu. He's his gi game is quite like, I feel like he's the person you want to come to. If you want to get good at the gi, you go to Louis. You talk to Louis. Not Vietnamese though, so that doesn't count. Who else do we have? D3 Submission Grappling. They're good, more of a local kind of a clientele base. I think they have a Kane over there, the English name he goes by. He fought in the Lion Championship recently. He's a brown belt, maybe just turned black belt, I think. But where else? Because I have definitely visited all the gyms, so I should know. But who else do we have? I haven't got to roll with, for example, Pablo, but everyone talks about how good he is. So I definitely imagine if you can get in a room learning for someone like with that kind of not like knowledge, that'd be really good too. Any more coaches? Corey again. Over under. Everyone, we all know Over Under's got this solid lunchtime room.
Yep.
Can't go wrong there. Just trying to make sure I don't miss out any names.
Yeah.
It's funny. Vietnam, we don't have that many black belts, right? I went to the Philippines and they were like, "Oh yeah, we don't have that many black belts. We only have like 56." I was like, "What?"
It's a heavy gi culture.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're big on the gi. Just trying to roll through my head. Who do I train with? Who else do I train? Because I definitely do. Like my whole time thing is Monday to Friday. I'm at Jozu. You know what? He mentioned him, Soy. He's trained for a long time. I think he's a purple belt, but he's been around in the scene for quite some time now.
Where he trains?
He looks after Soy Jiu-Jitsu. They're over at D10.
Oh, that's right.
Wing Chi Fung Stadium. They collaborate with Tank Club. Small back in the back of the stadium kind of mat area.
You go there sometimes.
So I go there for their Friday night open mats because their open mat on Friday ends at 9. So after I finish my open mat at Jozu, if I'm down for it, I'll go home, shower, and
look at you, man.
Yeah, no. There's definitely it's almost become a game for me to you play your video games, try to tick off the missions. It's like that for me when it comes to
how many practices per week do you do?
So Monday to Friday, up until recently, you have the morning class and the night class. That's the base. Maybe lift weights in between, and then the weekend. For example, we're talking maximum. That would mean on that Friday, after that Friday night open mat, I'd go to that additional open mat. Again, don't think I'm not going I'm spending a whole hour and doing another hour of rolling. I'm not, but just be able to show up and expose myself. Let's see what's available. I might get 1, 2, 3 rolls, but being able to roll in different states. I'm rolling now fresh, showing up. Now I'm rolling now, having rolled for an hour or so, had a shower, had a bit of just to sit and chill my ride over.
Yeah.
Now I'm rolling again. Then Saturday, Sundays, I'll go to. Here's another one that's worth mentioning. Not a black belt, Richard. Also Vom Phu. He's over at Pandemonium in Tăng Phu. They're great. For me personally, they're great because they have the they say they start at 7 a.m. on Saturday. They don't. Do not come there at 7 a.m. Get there at 7:30. All right. Because I live in D7. It's such a trek anyways.
Yeah.
So I'll show up a bit later. So 7:30 they go till 8:30, 9ish. Right.
Yeah.
So that's my early morning training on a Saturday. And because I have that means that when I finish that night training on Friday, I need to get my proper sleep in if I want to make it to that. After that, and we're talking about having a full week of training, I'll head to any kind of open mat that we have that's going from 10 to 12. So Mode's usually a good place that I go to during that time. And then I think in the afternoon, if you can make it to Corey's on a Saturday, that would be like I could get a 3-day in.
Wow.
But I don't do that often.
So you're looking at 15 a week.
Definitely less. But yeah,
Or 12 to
yeah,
12 to
that
15.
kind of range. And on a Sunday,
good.
I like to alternate between Shark and Arcane.
Mm.
Arcane have their 10 a.m. Free class. You have to go to that class to be able to go to the open map for free. That's right after the hour.
Yep.
And then so for example, today you and I were at Shark, right? And Shark's always no gi for the open mats. Over at Arcane, they were gi. So I live in D7. I live right next to Arcane, but for a day like today, I'd head over to, especially after having the comp. I'm real worn. I just want to come, show up, move around, have some fun. I'll go to Shark. On a day where I'm more down to learn a bit before I roll, I'll pop over to Arcane. Yeah, it's a pretty intense schedule.
Very good, man.
Yeah, I don't know how to not do it anymore. Like, it's almost like when I do get the time off the rest, I'm like, what am I going to do? Oh, and usually go roll. And then I wouldn't. But yeah. Dude, you were working with, I think, Top King MMA recently. You want to talk about them for a little bit? Give them a bit of light.
Ohana, they prefer to be called Ohana.
They want to be called Ohana? Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I would much rather they be called Ohana too.
I don't know the history of that place or anything, but
I just know the guy is Ohana, and he's from Hawaii, so...
Man, those guys are awesome.
They got good spirit.
Yeah.
They got good heart. I like him. Sam over there.
Arcane
Fellow
as well.
Aussie. Bro, he's from like... Basically as close as I can get to my area in Sydney.
Yep.
Yeah, we're like... like... Basically, in the neighborhood of suburbs, we're definitely there.
Yeah, we went over there last Friday, and Sam was there as well.
Yeah.
It was awesome to
Sam's
train
wonderful.
with those guys. And
Call him Skinny Craig Jones.
Yeah.
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 And like, because he's definitely someone who's been, like, for example, I don't spend money on these instructionals, any of that. Like, I'm not exactly the brightest. I just show up and learn what I learn, and then I train. That's all I do. But I don't have the mind to sit there and like digest an instructional. Sam feels like someone who's put in that time and learned from the high quality instructionals, and then now he's able to digest that, like bring that back out, make that digestible to the local community. Actually, no, that's another. Yeah, can I just say, like, it's very underrated because I didn't think about this at all, and I'm just thinking about now how much Sam's able to do.
Yeah.
Because he's like someone who I respect for his level and like the challenge that he presents for me. And then the fact that he puts himself out there trying to not only train these people, I see these photos, he's having a good time. He's creating that very nice, healthy atmosphere.
Absolutely.
That makes, for the local scene.
Yeah, these guys are great.
Yeah.
Fun to train with. And we'll be going out there again in probably in a few weeks.
yeah, I had a great time last time we were there. And
They were
Yeah.
definitely,
Be good to
I
go
only
back.
just visited them for the first time recently. They were
I hope
like,
you can come with us.
if
you'd like to.
So look at the calendar, sort out the date, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, what day is best for you?
He wants to like get the fucking appointment on there, so I can't like
On the
duck
air.
out of it.
appointments, May 4th,
Yeah.
there is this super fight event.
Yeah.
And Zach keeps talking about how it'd be beneficial for these competitors to get some experience,
Yeah.
before the first tournament. So Zach will be competing in the gi in June.
Yes.
So
was it
do
HAP?
you-
I will.
I'm just curious, do you think it would be beneficial to see him get some work in ahead of time in not a competition, but just at an open mat?
Yep,
at
bro.
Dragon MMA,
Well,
May
first
4th.
of all, the open mat, like go to an open mat with the intention of bringing a gi and telling people to bring a gi. Do that first, but also maybe go to some gi classes.
That is how you end up with heat stroke.
Oh,
This is
true.
a nightmare.
Hey, dude, I mentioned Louis over at Mode. Hey, he's
I
there
need-
on a Saturday. Hop on over, visit him. He'll roll with you.
I went there once.
Yeah.
To a no-gi class, but where can I buy a gi, man?
Where can you buy a gi? Oh, good question. So we all know the gis. That's run by the guy who runs Gistio, so that's a good start. Also, they've got these.
And what's that? I should know his name, but I don't.
That's I like to call him Ungol. Gol means bear because he likes to go by bear
Ungol.
lamb.
Okay.
So, yep. Don't call him Ungol. That's only what I call him. You call him bear, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Could you just pass me his contact information?
Yes, definitely. I'll get you sorted out. Why have you not been to Gistio?
I did go to Gizio
There you go.
once. I did, and with the gi and an animated video of me getting smashed.
Of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, the gis, they're solid. But dude, there's I think a cheaper brand that's out there, Fury or something. I think they get like shipped over from China. That's another.
I think
There's that.
I just
Honestly,
keep within
no,
inside
dude,
the community.
better than you doing that, trying to go get a fresh ski. I think if you hopped onto like these BJJ sites, pages on Facebook and all that, like groups and stuff,
Yeah.
there are always people trying to pass back a gi that they don't.
Yeah.
Like they've only worn twice. You know, I reckon
because
you
they
better-
went to a no-gi class.
Because they care about the environment.
Because
trying to
they care about the
recycle-
environment. Think about how many gallons.
I'm
of
so down to
water
see him in a
per
gi. I can't
day.
wait to see him wear
Yeah.
a gi.
Okay, look, I tell
Is
you
that
what.
in a kimono?
Tell you what, I'll do a gi match
Son,
at Saigon Super Fights.
mate.
Yes. Yeah, I will do that if for the community. I'll
Just
do
for
it-
the community. No ifs, no buts. He's just going to do it for
Ifs
the community.
and buts
But you're gonna
for
do
the
a match.
community.
You're
Yeah, I
gonna-
knew,
you're
I knew
gonna do
there was
match
always
too.
thing. And I'll tell you why you've lost this negotiation, because we already know you're competing in the gi, and we're going to see it happen anyways. I don't need to see it at the Saigon Super Fights.
So you might as well just
You
do it
bargained
twice.
with nothing, my friend. I'd be an idiot to say yes.
You want to do something for the community?
You're gonna be
Wear the
singing.
gi on May
You're
4th.
going
What
for
about all
it.
these guys who they don't have the time or the resources to go to Malaysia to see you?
Ah,
Do it
yeah,
for the
exactly.
community.
That's
It's just
why
a
we're
small
giving away a
outreach
free.
event.
That's why we're giving
How about-
away a free
Registration.
pass,
So
free registration.
one person will qualify to come and
To
see
watch
in
you
the
wear a
gi.
gi.
Meanwhile, the whole community,
Everyone's
the
missing
community we're
out.
trying to build. Can
Imagine
come
that on the
spectate.
day of the super fight, you just got Zac. He's not fighting no one.
He's
He's
just
just
in
running
the-
around in a gi.
You know, that's
Straight up
good
knee
enough for me.
stroke. He's-
Okay, we'll do the commentary
walking
and
around
you
a
will be
gi.
wearing a gi.
He looks so comfortable in no
Wh-
gi clothes. I want
whatever
to
it
just see
takes.
him
Whatever it
interact
takes.
in gi. Like,
I guess. Okay. Tell you what. I will commit to this. I will
for the community.
put a gi on
Beautiful, phenomenal.
at this open mat we're calling Saigon
For the
Super Fights.
community, yes sir.
I'm doing this for the community, guys.
That's
Community.
all we need.
That's all you're gonna get.
All right, well, I think that pretty much wraps us up.
And
We've
I
heard what we
think
want to
that's
hear,
it.
Zach.
I've
The only
given you
thing,
my
the only
everything.
thing that is left to hear is Simon singing karaoke on May 4th.
Thank God. Oh my
Be
God.
there.
I thought it was gonna.
All right, guys. Hey, awesome, Simon. Hey,
Thanks for having me.
honestly, hey, thank you for coming on the
Bro,
podcast.
I hope I did a good job. Did I do well?
Dashing.
You did fantastic.
Hey,
You did fantastic. I mean, you bring that Aussie charm.
hey,
you
did
know.
I do better than Hugh?
Hip's a pretty good speaker.
He's
Hip's a pretty good speaker. We actually study his tape a lot
To-
so that we can learn how to speak.
yeah, me too.
Subscribe to the Saigon Saga to follow the amazing story of combat sports here in Vietnam.